Hello guys, so today we did the lesson about negatives. It's quite simple lesson. I think you'll find it easy, but remember if you have any questions after watching the video, you can always message me. Alright, so what is a negative? A negative is a word that means no. Many negatives contain the word no within them, like not, nobody, nowhere, none, no one. Some negatives include the contraction for not, like can't, cannot, don't, do not, won't, will not, isn't, is not. Okay, here's our rule. You can never use two negatives in one sentence. This is what we call a double negative. It's not allowed. You can only have one negative in a sentence. Here are some examples of negative words and positive words. Negative, no, never, nobody, nothing, nowhere, no one. Positive, any, ever, anybody, anything, anywhere, or anyone. So this sentence is incorrect because it has two negatives in it. Julie didn't know nobody at school. Didn't is a negative, nobody is a negative. To correct the sentence, we would have to write, Julie didn't know anybody at school, changing nobody to anybody from negative to positive. Or we could say Julie knew nobody at school. Okay, also one negative in our sentence. Remember the rule. You cannot have two negatives in a sentence. Julie had never met her new teacher. Here we have the negative word never. Nobody looked up when Julie walked into the classroom. Nobody is our negative word. Julie found nowhere to sit in the classroom. Nowhere is the negative word. The teacher didn't know Julie was coming today. Didn't Julie, didn't our negative word. Julie wished her family hadn't moved to this place. Hadn't, had not, our negative word. No one in Julie's class seemed very friendly. No one, our negative word. A few more examples. Julie hoped she wouldn't have to give a speech. Would not, our negative word, wouldn't. The classroom map didn't show Julie's hometown. Did not, didn't, our negative word. No one in Julie's new class had ever been to Oregon. No one, negative word. Some of the students had never seen the ocean. Never, negative word. Julie thought she would make no new friends. No, negative word. Okay? Here, we're going to read these and decide why we chose the answers that we did. Julie hadn't ever eaten in the cafeteria. Hadn't is a negative word. Never is a negative word. Cannot have two negatives, so the answer must be ever. Julie hadn't ever eaten in the cafeteria. She couldn't find nowhere, anywhere to sit. Couldn't is a negative word. Could not. Nowhere is a negative word. Cannot have two negatives in the same sentence, so our answer must be anywhere. She couldn't find anywhere to sit. Don't you have anyone, no one, to sit with? Asked Lynn. Don't is a negative word. Do not. No one is a negative word. Cannot have two negative words, so the answer must be anyone. Don't you have anyone to sit with? Asked Lynn. I don't know nobody or anybody, said Julie. Don't, again, negative word. Do not. Nobody, negative word. Can't have two negatives. The answer has to be anybody. I don't know anybody, said Julie. Julie wouldn't, never, wouldn't, Julie would never forget Lynn's kindness that day. Julie would never forget Lynn's kindness that day. Okay, we have already in our sentence one negative, the word never. So we have to choose an answer that is not a negative. Would not is a negative, wouldn't. So our answer must be would. Julie would never forget Lynn's kindness that day. All right, let's take a look at the workbook page together. Now, for those students who are online and watching the video, my advice, close the video, do the workbook page yourself. Let's close it and see. It's page 88. Do the workbook page yourself and then come back and check to see if your answers are correct. Okay, great way to check to make sure that you understand something. How did I open that way? Let's see. Let's do it on paint. There we go. Okay. So number 1, write the negative word that appears in each sentence. Try not to have a negative outlook. Not, our negative word. No one is more discouraging than a pessimist. No one, our negative word. Complaining usually accomplishes nothing. Nothing, our negative word. Looking at things the wrong way will get you nowhere. Nowhere, our negative word. Nobody wants to be with someone who is gloomy. Nobody, our negative word. Okay, it says rewrite each sentence using the correct word in parentheses. No one is going to talk negatively around me. No more or anymore. Here we have no one, already have one negative in our sentence, so our answer must be any more. Oops. That's all right, let's just leave that. I don't want to hear nothing, anything that is discouraging. We have don't in our sentence, that's a negative word. So we need a word here that is not negative. Nothing is negative, anything is not negative. It is positive. I don't want to hear anything that is discouraging. I'm not ever, never going to listen to a critical word. Not, our negative word. So we have to have a positive word as our answer because we can't have two negatives. I'm not ever going to listen to a critical word. Isn't it time we tried something to correct the problem? This problem, sorry. Okay, isn't is a negative word, is not. Our answer must be a positive word, something. Isn't it time we tried something to correct this problem? Wouldn't anybody like to join me? Wouldn't, would not is a negative word. So our answer must be a positive word, anybody. Wouldn't anybody like to join me? Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions at all, you be sure to let me know. Those people who are online, make sure you check your workbook and you keep up with us in class, okay? See you guys. You have a long weekend ahead. Enjoy. I'll see you guys Monday. Bye-bye.